You are Locked On Wolves POSTCAST, part of Locked On Minnesota on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
T-Wolves make it 2 in a row. They take care of business in Dallas tonight, 118-105. What's going on? Back in the lab, back at it. Another T-Wolves postcast right here, all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which, thanks to you guys, is now the _1 sports podcast network. That's Jack Borman, a Wolves expert, NBA expert. Give him a follow on X at Jared Borman 13, Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. And go follow our guy Ben Beacon as well, host of the Locked On Timberwolves show each and every day. Lots to get into, Jack. Game MVP, want to hand out that award. Biggest turning point from this one. And then, of course, what we'll be talking about tomorrow. But just off the top, Wolves, okay, they won their last one, but still desperately trying to build a little momentum, get the train off the tracks here before the All-Star break. 9 games to go before the break heading into this one. No Anthony Davis, no Cooper Flagg. And the Wolves were kind of in control for most of this one, right from the start. Julius Randle, a team-high 31. Bones Highland, another nice game off the bench. And Johan Berenjay, man, coming in, just starting to look more the part of an NBA player. It just feels like the more and more minutes he gets. Plus 11 in just 16 minutes. Again, just really starting to make a big impact with the time that he's getting. 2 in a row, though, Jack. 4 to play before the trade deadline. What's a win like this mean for this team as we kind of zoom out, look at this team big picture, and what else really stuck out the most tonight?
Yeah, for sure. I think thinking big picture for the rest and kind of contextualizing it with the trade deadline and things coming up, I think it was really good to see Johan Berenjay and Bones Highland play well. I think those are 2 guys that certainly the Wolves are going to need to play well in order for the Timberwolves to reach where they want to go. I think Johan Berenjay continuing to play at the level that he's playing at, I think certainly gives the Timberwolves a lot of optionality in terms of how they want to be able to try to manage minutes with Julius and Naz and Rudy down the stretch of the season, which is really nice. And then it's also nice that Chris Finch is seemingly trusting him now in moments when the Timberwolves are really struggling to rebound the ball or defend the rim without Rudy Gobert on the floor. Obviously, that decision was made a little bit easier with Gobert in foul trouble tonight. But nonetheless, it was great to see Johan play a lot. He had a great first half. He had started it off with an offensive rebound that led to a Conley 3, a super athletic kind of tip to himself, cut a couple of lob dunks, sealed inside, posting up, got to the free throw line. Berenjay 3 of 4 from the free throw line tonight, which was great to see. Then we saw that triumvirate of Naz Reid, Julius Randle, and Johan Berenjay. They had played only 6 minutes coming into tonight. We saw them play in the second quarter, played the final 3:09 and had some nice flashes. I asked Chris Finch before the game on Monday if seeing more of that trio would be something that he'd go to. And he said that he really wants to get to it, more this season, down the stretch especially, and that they just didn't want to do it against Golden State because of putting Naz at the 3 with how many intricate off-ball actions that they have. But certainly it was a much better matchup tonight, considering that the Mavericks have a lot of kind of bigger, burlier, more physical wings that aren't necessarily as good of 3-point shooters. And then also, played a decent amount of minutes with 2 big, lineups, or 2 kind of non-shooter lineups necessarily. So it was a good matchup for it. So it was good to see him go to it. And then Bones Highland, I thought, was really, really good in this game too. In addition to Johan, I thought it was disappointing that he only played 12 minutes in this game. I really didn't think that the short leash that he had in the fourth quarter was warranted, considering how well he pushed pace. And just, I think the diversity of how he can play offensively is really important for this team. I understand that Bones got into some foul trouble, but who didn't get into some foul trouble in this game? I mean, the whistle was incredibly tight. They had 44 fouls in this game, which is absurd. There were 66 free throws in this game. So I think I'm kind of willing to give guys a pass with that on some level tonight. But again, I think sometimes Bones just gets too one-dimensional as a 3-point shooter. And I really like the way that he used his speed to get downhill and then was able to just kind of switch up the way that he attacked and set up some of his reads based on who was in the game, right? He played with all 4 bigs in this game. When Rudy or Johan was in the game, it was much more standard pick and roll. I thought he did a really good job of snaking and getting guys on his back and drawing two and then making plays from there. And then played really well in the pitch and chase game with Nas and with Julius as well. Set up some nice 3-point attempts for Nas in the slot that way too. So, and then you throw in the fact that, the Wolves, in large part because of how Bones and Johan and Nas played, +6 for the bench, 45 points tonight. That's a great number. And then also for the Wolves overall as a team, great to see them have 21 second chance points, 22 points off turnovers, 43 combined there. That's going to be a really good recipe for success. So overall, really good night for the Wolves. Great to see them get after it on both ends of the floor and come away with a win against a team that they absolutely should beat.
Let's hand out some flowers with our player of the game here.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Yeah, Nas with 23 off the bench. Ant with 20. He's averaging 33 on the road, 20 tonight, though. But it feels like kind of a one-man race tonight. Julius Randle, more bully ball. He came to play tonight, team high 31. 31, by the way, with 0 3-pointers attempted, mind you. Player of the game, who you got and why?
Yeah, for Randall, I think, he didn't make any threes. He took a few. He didn't make any. But I think for Randall, the biggest thing for him is I think it's just the manner in which he's able to score when the offense completely runs through him. I think he just does so in a way that kind of allows the Wolves to play through him for extended stretches and really wears on the opponent defense. I think, especially on the front end of a back-to-back, when Ant's had this lingering toe infection, just really nice that Ant doesn't have to exert himself all that much from putting the offense on his back and having to dominate in that sense. I thought that Randall being able to first knock down his jump shots in the mid-range early. I think he had 4 mid-range makes in that first quarter. And then I think just really sets him up to get physical down low on the block. And I thought, he did a great job dragging whoever he wanted down there and really using his footwork and getting those step-through moves really, really well. I think it has been something both he and Ant have done tremendously well. And then I think, again, when you can first knock down jumpers and then get physical, I think it just keeps the defense off balance, softens the interior of the defense, and then allows guys to get open on the second side because he's drawing 2, sometimes even 3 guys. And then when he does face that pressure, you see him step through even more than he does in single coverage. So that's always great to see. And I think just the way that he's able to punish smaller defenders and mismatches, whether it's taking bigger guys off the dribble on the perimeter or getting down low on the block and having his way in post up or face up situations against smaller guys is really important. And we saw it in the playoffs last season, seeing it again several games this year where the opposing defense just has no answer for him. And I think it's why he's such a valuable player on this team, and again is on a really great contract and carries a lot of value for the Timberwolves. So I understand why this front office is valuing him as highly as they are, and why it would be really difficult to part with Randall at the trade deadline, or as they continue to build out the future of this team, unless you're able to bring somebody in that can kind of replicate the physicality that he can play with and the mismatch potential that he has. So again, it wasn't like Ant didn't do anything in this game either, right? I mean, Ant still had 20 points and had 6 assists, which was nice to see. Just that kind of took what the defense gave him for the most part. I thought he got fouled maybe 3 or 4 times that it didn't get called, which was a bummer. And part of the reason why he shot 3 of 13 from 2. But again, mid 3 was
got teed
4
up
threes.
on one of those as well. Yeah, asking for
that'll for sure get rescinded. That was a terrible miscall, and it was an even quicker, worse technical. I mean, Ant just said the F word. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, if you're teeing up Ant for that, you should tee up guy. I mean, you'd be handing out 20 texts a game. So that was a joke. But again, I just thought Ant took what the defense gave him. I like the fact that he isn't trying to, just light the world on fire on the front end of a back-to-back if the team doesn't really need him to. So great to see Julius play well, though, in front of his home friends and family down there in Dallas. And ninth 30-point game of the year for Juve. So great job by him.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
So you're up 10 going into the locker room at halftime, but didn't really feel like they kind of ran away with things or really started to separate themselves in a healthy enough way until the late kind of late third quarter, I guess. When you look back, kind of let the dust settle here. I know the game just ended, but when do you think the biggest turning point tonight was in this one?
Yeah, for me, you got to go to the third quarter, right? The Mavs get on a little bit of a run. I think it was a 7-0 run to cut it from 15 down to 8. And then Naz Reid hits a huge three at the 3:07 mark of the third quarter. I think really just stemmed the tide in a super important way and kind of spurred a 12-3 run over the final 3:07 of that quarter, which allowed the Wolves to go up 17 into the fourth quarter, and I think kind of put away any doubt that the Wolves were not going to win this game. And so I think, again, Naz and Randall and Berenger all had really important moments in that third quarter and on that run. And I think for those three to score 11 of the final 12 points of the quarter was awesome. Naz gets it started with 3. Julius mixes in a score and a couple of free throws, which is great. Again, just part of the stretch where he was playing really decisively and really physically. And then Berenger had 2 offensive rebounds and 4 second chance points in that stretch. And again, for Yohan, you'd like to see him make more of an impact on the defensive glass, but he's been contesting a lot of shots, and they've done a really good job rebounding around him. That's allowed him to fly up the floor. And so, again, understand some of the calculus that they're playing with Berenger not having as many rebounds on the defensive end, but that's okay. I mean, because he helped hold Dallas to 1 of 5 shooting in that stretch, and one of those misses was a huge block that had Anthony Edwards going absolutely bananas. You could hear Ant hyping him up, clapping it up for him during the timeout when they were showing a replay. You could hear Ant in the background, which is just awesome. And I think, again, Ant took Yohan aside a couple of times to really talk with him. And I had heard over the summer that Ant loved Berenger because he just caught everything and wasn't in this stretch, but overall, Berenger did catch a lob from Ant, which was nice to see. So that final 3-minute stretch of the third quarter was definitely the turning point for me tonight.
Lots more to get into, what we'll be talking about tomorrow, plus Jack's going to empty the notebook. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by Monarch Money. You ever go check your bank account and go, where'd my money go? Dining out, online shopping, entertainment, so easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, not just another budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, your investments, your spending. It's all in one place, so you stop just managing your money, and instead you start building some wealth. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com. You're getting 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONNBA. You're getting half off your entire first year. This episode also brought to us by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, without a doubt, most fun I have playing daily fantasy. You can win up to 25 times your money this NBA season. Why I love it. So easy to play. All you got to do, you select 2 or more players. You pick more or less on their projected stats, points, rebounds, assists, 3-pointers, you name it, they got it. Plus, they now offer Apple Pay, quick and easy deposits in your account all season long. Right now, go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. Use the code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. Okay, Jack, some quick hitters before we get into what we'll be talking about. I was just going to bring up Dante DiVincenzo, man. Only 8 points, but +9, I want to say, on the night. Don't have the box score in front of me. Just feels like he's starting to really continue to do the dirty work, even if he doesn't light up the box score. Quick thoughts on DiVincenzo tonight, and any other notes you got as well from tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, the Timberwolves really missed Nickeil Alexander-Walker at the start of the season, just with a guy that's going to be available every single night, that's going to play super hard, that's going to do all the dirty work. And I think Dante DiVincenzo has been that guy that's really filled in that role excellently well all season long. And I think, again, tonight, if there was an extra effort play to be had, Dante DiVincenzo made that play. He had 4 steals in the first quarter of this game. Had some really nice contested rebounds, had I don't think he got credited for an offensive rebound in this game, but on at least 2 or 3 different occasions had extra hustle plays that either forced the ball to go out of bounds off an opponent or allowed one of his teammates to collect an offensive rebound. And again, didn't shoot the ball a ton in this game, right? Only took 8 shots, made 2 of his 5 threes. But I think for Dante, it's just all the connective stuff is super important. And he's taken on an extra role this season, too, of being the guy that they look to in transition, right? Any single time that there's a miss when Dante's in the game and he's not the guy getting the rebound, everybody's looking for him because he excels at flying up the floor in transition, throwing those hit-ahead passes, and then being kind of a give-and-go target, right, to come back to the ball after, hitting it ahead up the floor. So, I mean, it's just a huge reason why he's been part of almost all of the Timberwolves' best performing lineups this season. And, I mentioned that he had 5 steals. I mean, the Timberwolves were all over the place defensively with their activity. They had 21 stocks in this game. For reference, the Pistons lead the NBA at 17 per game. And the Wolves had 14 in the first half. So they were really flying around, getting active. And it was a big reason why, honestly, the Wolves were ahead at halftime because Dallas had so many offensive rebound opportunities in that first half. I want to say in their first 9 missed twos, they had 7 offensive rebounds, which is pretty crazy. So for the Wolves to be able to kind of settle down there and make up for it with how many turnovers they had or how many turnovers they forced, and then their blocks too were all pretty nice. And Dante had 5 steals, Nas had 3, Ant had 3. So nice to have those guys make plays, and then Ant and Nas each had a block too. So just really active on that end of the floor, which is great to see, especially in a game when Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels are both in foul trouble for most of this game, right? So that's great. And then I know that we've all talked about Mike Conley's minutes. I was a little confused as to why Chris Finch went back to Mike Conley the way that he did in that fourth quarter on such a short leash for Bones Highland. But again, Mike did play really well in the fourth quarter. So it was good to, if he's going to at least be out there, I'd like to see him play well. And he certainly played well. 6 points, 5 assists is about as, with 2 stocks, is about as good as you're going to get from Mike right now. Did make 2 of his 5 threes, which was certainly a positive, including that one big one in the fourth quarter. So great to see him at least make the most of the minutes that he did play. But again, him almost doubling up Bones Highland in minutes at this point. Kind of a broken record that I really don't agree with that from a development perspective or just a give your team the best chance to win perspective. But I'm not the head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, there's probably a good reason for that. So
someday, maybe.
Maybe.
Let's get into what we'll be talking about tomorrow, Jack.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Just speaking of Baron J tonight here, Jack. Just some fun lineups out there tonight. Finally, some big boy ball we got to see out there. I just want your thoughts on some of these different lineups we've started to see with him in the mix, and which ones kind of really stick out, which ones kind of tickle your fancy or get you excited, I guess, when you see him out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 2-man pairing of Naz Reid and Yohan Baron-J. I thought that they were really, really good tonight in this game. You didn't see as much of the 3. Naz, Julius, and Yohan, especially, I want to see more of that lineup just because both those guys can throw lobs to Yohan, so they can really take advantage of kind of his full arsenal of offensive skills. And I think getting those 3 lineups should help against bigger teams where they might struggle on the glass. But sticking with Naz and Yohan specifically, those 2 played 9 minutes together tonight. They won 24-14 in those 9 minutes. They had a league average offensive rating, but they had a defensive rating of 73.7, which is unbelievably good. And I think the way that those 2 just paired really well together with Yohan contesting a lot of shots, Naz getting rebounds for the most part in that grouping. And then the way that Naz, I think, attacked off the dribble and immediately looked for Yohan and lob dunk situations was awesome. I think Naz threw a couple lob dunks to Yohan tonight, which was great to see. I think that the Wolves are utilizing the lob dunk just because that's something that we haven't seen enough of with Rudy, and I think it just speaks to how much these guys trust Yohan's hands, which is something that can't be understated either. So I think that again, Rudy only played 21 minutes and they won this game, so that's great to see, considering that they have to get on a plane, come back up here to Minneapolis and play the Thunder tomorrow night. So we'll probably see Johan again, considering that Oklahoma City is a team that hasn't shot the ball particularly well from the corners, and they're probably gonna let Lou Dort shoot. They normally would let Alex Caruso shoot too, but Caruso is not going to play. And neither will AJ Mitchell, who's been kind of their version of a much more souped up Bones Highland as their sixth man. And then Cason Wallace is questionable, and Jalen Williams is also not going to play. J-Dub is out with a hamstring strain, but they do get Isaiah Hartenstein back, who has missed the last month with his second calf injury of the season. So should be an awesome game. Again, another late start on Prime Video for the Wolves tomorrow night against the Thunder, but the last time that happened, they came away victorious. So hopefully we'll get a similar game in terms of competitiveness and how close it was going down the stretch, and hopefully the Wolves come out with another W and make it 3 in a row.
Great stuff, Jack. Per usual, T-Wolves make it 2 in a row. Take care of business in Dallas tonight. 118-105. That's the final. 29-19 now on the year. 10 games above 500. Much love to all you guys, all the everydayers out there that always make us your first listen. All you guys coming in the chat with us from game to game as well. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go follow Jack at JRBorman13. Again, we're back tomorrow night. OKC in town, 8:30 tip. Until then, appreciate all you guys. We'll talk to you next time.